What have you always wanted to know about Boise State Public Radio? Join us for another round Wednesday, March 19th at Mad Swede Brew Hall in downtown Boise from 6 to 8 p.m. Learn more about our operations, news content, and our service mission. We welcome your questions and look forward to sharing more about what we do here at Boise State Public Radio. More details can be found on our website at boisestatepublicradio.org.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Gaudette. This is Idaho Matters. March is set aside as Women's History Month. It's a time to honor women in the past who made inroads in our society and culture. However, Boise decided that instead of celebrating women in history, why not celebrate the women who are making history? Boise calls them change makers in our art and culture. And they're honoring 5 of these women tonight at a special panel discussion called Living Legacies and Changemakers, Boise Women Shaping Arts and Culture. So here to tell us more are Tilly Bubb, the City of Boise's cultural planner, and one of the women being honored, Lita Harris Newstetter. She is the owner of Metamorphosis Performing Arts Studio, and she's also a freelance musician, actor, community builder, and arts educator. I want to welcome both of you to the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
So Tilly, tell us where the idea came from for this, women who are making change right now.
Tanisha Eastman Dodson is our program assistant at the Irma Heyman House, and she started this program last year. So this is an annual program focused at fostering a deeper appreciation for women's historical, cultural, and creative contributions. It's really amplifying the impact that Irma Heyman had on the Boise community through her life. She was a mother, had an incredible career, was an advocate, a musician. So it is really inspired by Irma Heyman and her story. And Tanisha was the person who is really behind this event for the Irma Heyman House, which is a cultural site run by the Department of Arts and History.
So Tilly, tell us about these 5 women. I introduced Lita, and we'll chat with her in just a minute. But how did you find them?
We had a brainstorming session at our staff. We really wanted to focus on women who are doing really important work in our community currently, who are in different disciplines. So we're featuring women who are coming from different directions. Natalie Disney is a writer. She was the inaugural Boise City Writer in Residence. She's also a teacher. She's just finished her first novel. Alex Davis is the director of the Alexa Rose Foundation. She is a creative powerhouse in and of herself. She's been working to reimagine how to best foster the arts community by doing a pairing with Commonwealth for an artist in residence program. Jessica Harned is a violinist and a podcaster and a producer who showcased Classical Queens Our Time at the Morrison Center this last January. It was a groundbreaking stage production about Black women who are musicians in our culture. It was based on her master's thesis. And then lastly, we have Kirsten Furlong, who is a director of the gallery at Boise State University and a visual artist who just was awarded the Alexa Rose Fellowship. So it's an impressive group of women who are going to be talking about what inspires them and the legacies that they bring to our community.
Lita, let me bring you into the conversation. Tell us about your background, because you've done it all. You're a musician, you're an actor, a teacher, a social worker.
Yeah, I have felt a lot of my life being kind of split into, and I don't know, Jim, if you know anything about numerology, but I dabbled in a little numerology, and it kind of tells you your life paths. And I had an interesting discovery with that. When I did the numerology for my birth name, it came up as being involved in the performing arts, very specifically. That was my drive. And when I did the numerology for my name that I've gone by my whole life, it came up with community work and activism work. And I was like, that is exactly it. I had felt kind of split with those two things of what to give my passion to. And so what I've basically tried to do is just merge them and find a way to put all of them together. So I opened my own business so that I could do that, be involved with the arts, but also be doing community work and kind of put mental health psychology into all of it.
So, Lita, talk to us about Metamorphosis Performing Arts Studio, because you say this is where the performing arts and mental health really intersect.
Yeah, that came about because when I was still being a full-time therapist, I worked at Ada County Juvenile Court, and all of my evenings were spent over at Knock 'em Dead Dinner Theater. And um, it really occurred to me how much overlap there was between what I was talking about with my counseling clients and what we were working on as actors and performers, with how much similarity in everything from empathy, which is huge, because you can't be a good actor if you don't have empathy and you don't know how to see things from somebody else's perspective and really get into that person's, feel like you really are in their shoes. And empathy is one of the main things we're always talking about with counseling as well. Communication skills, stress management, anxiety management. So I just thought we're talking about the same stuff. Could I figure
Yeah.
out a way to do this together? And so when people come in and do voice lessons, acting lessons, private speaking, coaching, what we inevitably end up talking about is, their inner dialogue. What is their self-talk like? Are they super self-critical? Are they super over-controlling? And how is that impacting them? And how do they manage their stress when it comes up? Do they shut down? So suddenly we're talking about stuff that's kind of life skills counseling stuff, but we're talking about it in the context of getting ready to go do this performance or do this speech. So to me, it's like those worlds are very interconnected.
hmm I want to talk a little bit more, Lita, about your teaching as well, not just at the art studio, but you bring arts and life skills to schools all around the Treasure Valley. So, why is it important that you make sure you share this with students, with children in the Treasure Valley?
Um, our schools are increasingly limited in what they are able to provide, what the teachers are able to provide. There's so many things that they want to be able to cover that they can't because they don't have time or they don't have, whatever. And so I feel like anytime I get an opportunity to come in and I can speak from an independent place as a contractor, sometimes I can say things that they aren't allowed to cover.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's just, the kids, I mean, the kids are in that place where they're so open to trying to figure out this world, and they're so receptive to concepts that sometimes adults can kind of get closed off to. And so the more opportunities we can offer for them to see a problem in a different light, or see a different way to communicate with people, or have a chance to step into a different perspective that they haven't considered, we have no idea what seed that might plant for them and how that might develop and blossom. And so for me, it's like the more opportunities to just say the things from the different perspectives and get them out of their comfort zone and doing stuff, even if it's a silly game, you just never know what that might turn into down the road for them.
And Tilly, you're an artist too. And why did you decide to focus on these change makers, these women in arts and culture specifically? Because I think this is so interesting to really, focus in on women who are making change in this category.
Thank you, Gemma. I am an artist, but I recently completed my PhD and I focused on the creative economy. And the creative economy is really critical to Boise's economic future. And these women are incredible artists in their own right, but they're also economic powerhouses. They're creating opportunities for others to have exhibitions, to receive grants, to do residencies, to perform, to be on radio shows and podcasts, or to be educators in their own rights. So these are women who are making a difference in the identity of our city, in the creative future of our city, and they're also making a difference in the economic future of our city.
And Alita, you call yourself a change maker. How do you see yourself making that change on a local level right here in our community?
Girl, you just asked me the $1 million question. Um, I'm telling you, I actually don't call myself a change maker. That's a title that I kind of hesitantly accept from others. They're like, I'll take your word for it. Because for me, I look around our community in the world and I see so often efforts that I'm trying and they're not working out. And I see people that I've invested years of time into and we've done training and we've done work. And then those people turn around and they make a decision or they do a thing that's counter to everything we've talked about in our training. And it can be so heartbreaking and discouraging. And it can make me feel like, why am I even doing this? I'm obviously not making any difference. Nothing's changing. Nothing's getting better. So I often am relying on perspectives of others to come in and say, no, there's impact you're making. You're not seeing it right now. So I don't know. Maybe history, ancestors will tell me down the road if I was a change maker. Right now, I'm just swimming, keep swimming, keep swimming, keep swimming. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. I feel like you're speaking to so many of us, right? When you say that, it's when you're in the midst of it, it is difficult to see yourself doing anything other than living your life right in that moment.
Yeah. And the heartbreaks, I do racial justice work. And so it's extremely personal. And the heartbreaks are very real. The gut punches are very real. And so it can be hard to look past those when those are happening,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Tilly, before we wrap up, tell us about the event tonight, along with the panel discussion, because you've chosen some books that are inspired by the themes of this event.
We have. And I just want to add a note to what Lita said, which is that what Lita shared is part of the reason that we're doing this talk tonight, because we really want to amplify the voices of Lita and the other speakers tonight, because what they're doing is important. It's important to us. It's important to our community. We've actually sold out the meals for tonight at irmaheymanhouse.org. You can still buy tickets to attend the event. There you'll find a selection of books by the Boise Public Library that really focus on artists of all disciplines, books like Poet Warrior by Joy Harjo, books by Allison Centerstock about how women make music. So there's books about artists of all different disciplines that'll be shared tonight. You can check those out on site tonight, thanks to the Boise Public Library. But tonight you'll hear about the struggles, what they champion, and I invite the public to come support these incredible women and to reflect on the legacies that each of these women bring to our Boise community.
I want to thank you both so much for taking time today to talk with us about this really wonderful event. We've been speaking with Tilly Bubb, the City of Boise's cultural planner, and Lita Harris-Neusteider. She is the owner of Metamorphosis Performing Arts Studio. Lita and 4 other women will be honored tonight at a special panel discussion called Living Legacies and Change Makers, Boise Women Shaping Arts and Culture. It will be at Trailhead in Boise beginning at 5:30 this evening. You've been listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Gemma Gaudette.